this next chapter, chapter 3 in your textbook and chapter 4, is talking about orthographic projection. And orthographic projection is really the foundation of all of the drawings that we'll do. I mean, orthographic projection is the big deal when it comes to creating drawings of parts, assemblies, machines, floor plans, whatever. Orthographic projection is a fundamental concept that's used across all disciplines, and you really want to understand what it means. So, I thought we would kind of dabble into it this week, hit it next week. We'll spend the next couple of weeks working on it, and then, ultimately the remaining of the semester, we will be creating orthographic views, and we'll just be adding stuff to that. But orthographic views, if you're taking the whole CAD program, you're going to be creating orthographic views from this day forward in all the different classes. So it's a really important concept, an important topic. And so I thought we could use this time to kind of get started in it. We'll do some orthographic projections in AutoCAD together. And then next week, we'll see what all we can get done next week too. But I know some of you might not have finished this week's work. And so I really want to leave at least an hour. I will do my best to stop talking and give you at least an hour to finish up this week's projects. If you're finished, then you'll be done an hour early, but that's better than being done 3 hours early, right? So let's get to the discussion about orthographic projection. And I know everybody loves these long PowerPoints, but it won't take long. And I think it kind of helps better explain what I'm trying to talk about if we see some of these images. Let me get my thing where I can zoom in on it. So orthographic projection, you will hear me, you will see orthographic views, orthographic projection. You'll hear that a lot, and it's an important term and an important concept. And what it really means is that we're taking an object that's real in 3 dimensions, right? X, Y, Z, length, width, height. And we're creating 2-dimensional drawing views of that part. And we're creating these 2-dimensional drawing views in a standardized way that if we create this drawing in BB Arkansas, we can send it down the road to a machine shop in Cabot, or we can send it to China, and we get the parts back that we expect, because everybody understands how these orthographic views are created and exactly what they're telling us. So, here's that example of the 3D representation, and we're taking that 3-dimensional object and we're creating these 2-dimensional orthographic projection views. So there's 3 separate views in this case required to fully define the size and shape of this 3-dimensional object. Okay, so there are some rules that we have to apply when we create these views, and that's what we're going to start learning about today is what these rules are and how they apply. It's really a very simple it's a very simple point, but it's one that we need to wrap our mind around. Let me just pause for just a second. Again, y'all turn this on at night when you can't sleep and just let it go in the background. It's there if you want it, right?
I turn it on to remember what I do.
Oh, that's good. It's always there. So I do record all these topics for your records. But back to what we're saying, we've got this 3-dimensional object and we're representing it with 2-dimensional drawing views. And those drawing views are called orthographic projection. Now, we're going to learn the rules of how to create those orthographic projections. And one of the fundamental rules is the orientation or understanding which view is which. So if you see this 3D representation on the left, we've kind of got the sides that represent those views. You can see across the top, and then we have the front, and then we have the right side. So that's your typical representations that you would see. If you take this part and you look straight at it from the top, you see that rectangle on the left and that kind of C shape, that sideways C shape on the right. Does everybody see those shapes? So what I'm talking about is when I look at this straight down, I actually see this rectangle. I see the edges that form that rectangle right here. That everybody click with that? And then I also see this kind of sideways C shape when I look straight down from the top, which is this right over here. So I'm actually seeing the true edges of the part when I look down from the top. That's what I draw. I draw those and I use the correct shape and size to make that the right size. Remember, AutoCAD is very precise, and the level of detail that we put into our drawings, it's exact, right? So if this is 2 inches wide or 4 inches wide, it's exactly that, no more, no less. And then if we turn this, if we rotate this part, 90 degrees and look at it from the front, now we're seeing the front shape, which is kind of this L shape, okay? So we're seeing the outside edges, which go all the way across here, up, all the way back across here, up and over. So we get this kind of sideways L. Like so, right? And then we also see these vertical edges here where those corners are created, and that's what we're seeing right here. So we put those lines in the proper place, in the proper position to represent those edges. And now we look at this thing, we rotate it again 90 degrees and look at it from the end or the right side. And when you look at it from the right side, what you see are these two rectangles. You see this rectangle setting exactly on top of this rectangle. That's what you truly see. All right. We look at it over here. You see this rectangle, which is the first one I identified, and then you see it setting on top of this rectangle. Now, where it gets a little bit challenging for some is this hidden line right here. So notice that's a dash line. It's not a full straight line like we see everywhere else. It's a hidden line. So what that means is that line, we can't truly see it from this side, but it's representing, this edge or this one back here that we can't see. And it's a hidden line when we look at it from that side. It's an edge that's there. In orthographic views, we have to represent all of the edges. If there's an edge, it has to be represented in views. So if there's a corner in one view, it's represented in lines as the other views. Right? So here's a corner there. Here's a line. There's a line. See how that corner represents a line? Anywhere there's an edge, it's represented by a line. So what we're trying to do is learn which views we're looking at, how that relates to the three-dimensional part. And it comes with experience. And I see two reasons students struggle in this field. And one is they just absolutely don't enjoy doing the software. It's like somebody's punching you in the stomach if you have to make a project. And I don't see that with anybody here. It looks like everybody's kind of enjoying it, and that's good. Dalton gives me a thumbs up, a big smile, so I like that. But best I can tell, it doesn't look like anybody's hating AutoCAD at this point. So that's a good sign. The other struggle that I see is actually being able to visualize these orthographic views from these 3D things. And it comes with some experience and some time, and we'll do a lot of it. So it's natural for it to be a little bit challenging at first. There are 6 principal views. And what I'm calling principal views is 6 ways that I can look straight down on this part. And that's a big important thing when you hear the term orthographic views. Orthographic views are always straight on, normal to, perpendicular to your nose, if you will. Okay. So that means your nose is pointing straight at that view, whether it's a top view, front view, or right side view, your nose is looking right at it. Normal to. So in addition to the top, front, and right side, those are the 3 primary views that are typically used to describe the parts, but they're not the only views. And which views you decide to use or you need to use kind of depends on the features on the part. If there's stuff that's on the left side of the part, maybe you need a left view instead of a right view. If there's stuff on the bottom of the part, maybe you need to add a bottom view. So, some views may be described completely with just 1 view or 2 views or 3, and other views may require 6 or 8 or 10 or 12, depending on how complex things get. And we get into the more advanced drawing views a little bit later. But there are 6 principal views straight on. And the easiest way to kind of, most people can wrap their minds around those principal views is what's called the glass box method. So we place this three-dimensional object in this glass box, and then we look straight at each pane of glass, straight on, and the edges are projected onto that pane of glass. So, the edges are projected upward toward the top view, outward for the front, to the right for the right, and left, and so on and so forth. So, visualize that part in that box, and you're looking at it directly or straight on from that principal view, whichever one it might be. But all those edges project straight out to that pane of glass. And then to actually place the views, you can unfold that piece of glass. So you would take that box and unfold it, and those views lay out properly. Okay. So that's one of the very important rules when we create orthographic views, is that these edges, this is representing the top of the part. And remember, in AutoCAD, we're drawing exactly the right size, right? So if this is the top face of my part in the front view, then it has to line up exactly with the top face and all the other views. Not close, not about, but exactly, right? Exactly in line, straight across. If you're creating a right side view, that top of that front view needs to be exactly where the top of the right side view is at. Same way with the bottom. If we're going across the bottom here, it's got to be all, perfectly aligned, not close. How do we get it perfectly aligned? We talked about that on Tuesday. But what tools do we use? Yeah, the snaps, right? And the tracking tools, right? When we hovered over that edge and we kind of put the little X there, and then we came over there, it lined right up with it. So that's going to be our ticket, polar tracking with that. But this is one of the things that I see real common mistakes early on, is someone doesn't have these views perfectly aligned. All of them have to be perfectly aligned. So when I say that, this left edge of the part in the front view must be perfectly aligned with the left edge in the top view. If you happen to have a bottom view, it's pretty rare we're going to do bottom views, at least early on, but it would be a perfect line in that bottom view, perfectly lined up, straight, not close, perfect. And that's what I'm looking for. So, a lot, if I see this, the comment I'll usually make in the feedback is, top view is not aligned with the front view. And that just means you didn't line it up like you're supposed to. And I'll cut points off for that. So keeping these things lined up is super important, and being able to recognize which ones are which. So we'll go through a couple of slides here just to play the game. So we have this the 6 principal views, and you can see the front view is identified here. So the next slide is going to say, which view is this? What would its proper name be called? Top view, right? That's fun. Top view. All right. What about this one? Right side. You guys are getting this. Right side. Very good. And what about that one? Back or rear? Absolutely. Good. And what about this one? Left side. Good. And finally, the bottom, right? So that's not that terribly hard, right? Not terribly hard. Big things, exact sizes and perfectly lined up. Now, if you were taking this box and unfolding it, then this distance from here to here would be fairly consistent to this distance from there. I don't really care about those distances. They can be further or closer together. And you'll have to make them further or closer together depending on how many dimensions you have to put in between them. They can be further apart. The top view can be further apart than the right side view, and that's okay. But they have to be perfectly lined up, regardless of where they're at on the sheet. And we want to keep them, closely related to one another, so it's easy to understand, hey, this is the top view, front view, right side view. So when you look at this, what's the difference between the left side and the right side? That's true, but if you look at them really close, what's some specific details? What is it? Yeah, so it's the difference between this line, you know, and the way they're turned, right? So why is it a solid line in the right side view and a hidden line in the left side view? That line is representing this corner, right? And I actually see it if I'm looking from this direction. If I'm looking from this direction, that corner is hidden by this space, right? It's covered up. So that's why it's a hidden line in the left side view. You know, another common mistake I see is these a lot of times I'll see a drawing that has the left, you know, got a front view, and you know, you're drawing, you meant to make a right side view, you put it where the right side view belonged, but you put the left side view, you created the left side view. So what we have to realize when we create these views is that, you know, this edge represents this space here. You know, an edge in one view is a face in the adjacent view. Okay. So when I rotate this, you know, if I've got this front view and I rotate it, you know, this way 90 degrees to look at it from this side, you know, which way does this go, right? It goes away from me, you know, or back toward the front view, right? If you rotate it and look, is that everybody able to wrap their mind around that? Because I see that a lot. I see these I see someone creating what they think is a right side view. They put it in the place for the right side view, but they actually draw the left side view because you know, they're having trouble distinguishing what these spaces really are. So we need to be able to identify that this edge is related to this space. Everybody feeling pretty good about that? You know, if you were you know, drawing this and you drew the left side, you could easily mirror it to the right side or vice versa and just change the one line. Yeah, that's what we do. That's how we make our money. So I clicked too far, but one of the things that it asked for would be you know, this slide's asking which views have the fewest amount of hidden lines. There's no hidden lines in the front view or the top view, right? And then the next fewest one would be the right side view with only one hidden line. So you try to choose your views and lay out your parts to minimize hidden lines. And I'm not going to say that's an all-encompassing 100% of the time rule. In this role, you will be asked to you know, create a drawing of a part, and you have to make the decision of what's the front view and what's the top view. You know, that's, you know, a lot of times it's not given to you. You have to decide. You typically decide about how the part is used in the real world. What's its kind of, I'm going to say, natural orientation of how it really exists in reality or used in the world. And then also you may decide to choose one view over another if it has fewer hidden lines, because hidden lines tend to add confusion to the casual everyday blueprint reader.